Welcome back, warrior. We are reading First Kings, no, for real, First Kings chapter 13 this time. Chapter 12 was confused with chapter 13, but now we're actually on chapter 13. Okay, so Jeroboam is smitten and then healed by a prophet from Judah. The prophet delivers his message, is led astray by a prophet from Bethel, and is slain by a lion for his disobedience. Jeroboam continues false worship in Israel. Oh, isn't that sad? Interesting that it's by a lion. Remember his grandpa, David? He could slay a lion. So that's the kind of strength the Lord can provide. Yet people don't listen, Okay, so here we go. It says, and behold, there came a man of God out of Judah by the word of the Lord unto Bethel. And Jeroboam stood by the altar to burn incense, and he cried against the altar in the word of the Lord, and said, O altar, thus saith the Lord, behold, a child shall be born unto the house of David, Josiah by name, and upon thee shall he offer the priests of the high places that burn incense upon thee, and men's bones shall be burnt upon thee. And he gave a sign the same day, saying, this is the sign which the Lord hath spoken. Behold, the altar shall be rent, and the ashes that are upon it shall be poured out. Okay, hold on. Okay, and it came to pass, verse 4, and it came to pass, when King Jeroboam heard the saying of the man of God, which had cried against the altar of Bethel, that he put forth his hand from the altar, saying, lay hold on him. And his hand which he put forth against him dried up, so that he could not pull it in again to him. The altar also was rent, and the ashes poured out from the altar, according to the sign which the man of God had given by the word of the Lord. Oh, also, I wanted to wish everyone a happy Independence Day. I think this Independence Day is a little bit different because here in our area, there have been lots of fires, and it's really sad. So only professional fireworks were able to be set off and last night. And so it was a little quieter. And honestly, I feel like it's probably for the best that we celebrate in different ways. Like the whole fireworks thing, if it's causing fires, we do not need to celebrate in that way. It's not a celebration when people have to suffer and die, and that the earth also suffers and dies. So no, it's a little bit sad for all the people selling fireworks, because I can relate as an entrepreneur. But anyway, just wanted to throw that out there. But I'm so grateful for the freedoms that I enjoy because of the courageous people that sacrifice themselves and their families for my freedoms. And anyway, I forgot to mention that because I was trying to get right in it. But yes, this is something I'm always grateful for. I never take it for granted. In fact, every time I see somebody in a military outfit, I'm brought to tears every time. So I just get all that gratefulness. Okay, verse 5. The altar also was rent, and the ashes poured out from the altar, according to the sign which the man of God had given by the word of the Lord. And the king answered and said unto the man of God, entreat now the face of the Lord thy God, and pray for me that my hand may be restored me again. And the man of God besought the Lord, and the king's hand was restored him again, and became as it was before. Okay, so his hand came back. Okay, and the king said unto the man of God, come home with me and refresh thyself, and I will give thee a reward. And the man of God said unto the king, if thou wilt give me half thine house, I will not go in with thee, neither will I eat bread nor drink water in this place. For so was it charged me by the word of the Lord, saying, eat no bread, nor drink water, nor turn again by the same way that thou camest. So he went another way, and returned not by the way that he came to Bethel. Okay, interesting. I'm not sure what all that means. Okay, we're leaving off on verse 11, but okay, so the word of God to Jeroboam. So this is a powerful moment that shows the Lord's power and his mercy. A prophet is sent to warn Jeroboam about the false worship he has set up. He boldly delivers the Lord's message and gives a sign that immediately comes to pass. The altar breaks apart. When Jeroboam reacts in anger, his hand is suddenly dried up, showing God's power. But just as quickly, we also see the Lord's mercy when Jeroboam humbly asks for help. The prophet prays for him, and his hand is completely healed. Even after Jeroboam's rebellion, the Lord is still reaching out, offering both warning and compassion, which is awesome. Don't we sometimes feel like we don't need it? Alexa, stop. No. Okay, so I have Alexa programmed to say certain things at certain times, which is great, unless I am currently recording stuff. So even after this, the prophet stays true to the Lord's instructions, refusing the king's reward and leaving just as he was commanded. It's a great reminder that standing for truth sometimes requires courage, and that true discipleship means following the Lord's direction completely, even when it would be easier or more comfortable not to do. Yes. That would have been such a great temptation too, because, he's probably a humble guy, humble living, and being able to go to the king's house would be amazing, right? Especially if it was King Solomon's house. That house has got to be giant. Okay, so verse 11. Now there dwelt an old prophet in Bethel, and his sons came and told him all the works that the man of God hath done that day in Bethel, the words which he had spoken unto the king. Them they told also to their father. And their father said unto them, What way went he? For his sons had seen what way the man of God went, which came from Judah. And he said unto his sons, Saddle me the donkey. So they saddled him the donkey, and he rode thereon. Whew. Okay, and then verse 14. And went after the man of God, and found him sitting under an oak. And he said unto him, Art thou the man of God that camest from Judah? And he said, I am. Then he said unto him, Come home with me and eat bread. And he said, I may not return with thee, nor go with thee, neither will I eat bread nor drink water with thee in this place. For it was said to me by the word of the Lord, Thou shalt eat no bread, nor drink water there, nor turn again to go by the way that thou camest. He said unto him, I am a prophet also, as thou art. And an angel spake unto me by the word of the Lord, saying, Bring him back with thee into thine house, that he may eat bread and drink water. But he lied unto him. So he went back with him, and did eat bread in his house and drank water. Oh no. And it came to pass, as they sat at the table, that the word of the Lord came unto the prophet that brought him back. And he cried unto the man of God that came from Judah, saying, Thus saith the Lord, Forasmuch as thou hast disobeyed the mouth of the Lord, and hast not kept the commandment which the Lord thy God commanded thee, but camest back and hast eaten bread and drunk water in the place of the which the Lord did say to thee, Eat no bread and drink no water, thy carcass shall not come unto the sepulchre of thy fathers. Oh, that's sad. I know that those people back then really loved that, being buried with their ancestors. Then he says, And it came to pass after he had eaten bread and after he had drunk, that he saddled him the donkey, to wit, for the prophet whom he brought back. And when he was gone, a lion met him by the way and slew him. Oh, okay. So this was so it wasn't Jeroboam or Rehoboam. It was the prophet. Oh, sad. Okay. And his carcass was cast in the way, and the donkey stood by it, and the lion also stood by the carcass. And behold, men passed by and saw the carcass cast in the way, and the lion standing by the carcass. And they came and told it in the city where the old prophet dwelt. And when the prophet that brought him back from the way heard thereof, he said, It is the man of God who was disobedient unto the word of the Lord. Therefore the Lord hath delivered him unto the lion, which hath torn him and slain him, according to the word of the Lord, which he spake unto him. See, so even he knew. And he spake to his son, saying, Saddle me the donkey, and they saddled him. And he went and found his carcass cast in the way, and the donkey and the lion standing by the carcass. The lion had not eaten the carcass, nor torn the donkey. And the prophet took of the carcass of the man of God. Okay, so they call this other guy, a man of God. And so I guess, but they're calling this guy the prophet. So maybe it was like a priest, I don't know. And laid it upon the donkey and brought it back. And the old prophet came to the city to mourn and to bury him. And he laid his carcass in his own grave. And they mourned over him, saying, Alas, my brother. And it came to pass, after he had buried him, that he spake to his son, saying, When I am dead, then bury me in the sepulchre wherein the man of God is buried. Lay my bones beside his bones. For the saying which he cried by the word of the Lord against the altar in Bethel, and against all the houses of the high places, which are in the cities of Samaria, shall surely come to pass. And after this thing, Jeroboam returned not from his evil way, but made again of the lowest of the people priests and the high places whosoever would, he consecrated him, and he became one of the priests of the high places. And this thing became sin unto the house of Jeroboam, even to cut it off and to destroy it from off the face of the earth. Okay, now I'm confused. Let's see, what did they say here? Okay, first of all, we need to make sure that we're following the Lord's instructions. I have an experience where, and it's actually many times, where the Lord tells you things, and the Lord's going to give you promptings and inspiration and revelation for you, your life, and the stewardships that he has given you. And then there's other people who sometimes claim that they have received specific revelation, and it's because of their stewardship. Now, I'm not saying that you need to dismiss other people's revelation right off the bat, but I do believe that you need to be prayerful about it, and that you need to consider it both a possibility and not a possibility. So, in our congregation, in our church, we have things, we call the responsibilities that we have been asked to volunteer for, callings. And we can be called to do certain things, or we can be asked to step in certain roles that would probably stretch us or use our skills in some way, all of it to further the work of the Lord on the earth, right? And sometimes they will say something like, we were inspired to call you to this calling, or something like that, right? And I totally sustain my leaders and think that they do a fantastic job, but just because they felt prompted or inspired to ask you to serve in a specific way, it is still your responsibility, or it's still my responsibility, to pray about it and to know for myself if the answer is going to be, if I'm going to say yes or no. And I think what happens sometimes is that we automatically, even I automatically say yes to everything because you don't want to let anybody down, right? But that's not a reason to say yes to things, because then you're going to let yourself down, and that is a no-no. We do not want to let ourselves down. And so and yes, I believe that even if it's a hard calling or something that's really going to stretch you or something that's uncomfortable, that you still need to take that to the Lord and see for yourself if it's going to be something that you know that he can help you with and that you can do. And so don't just rely on what other people say, because you never know what they're saying, right? And that's what just happened here, is this man of God versus this prophet, right? Or old prophet. And one of them got revelation, and the Lord told him specifically not to eat bread and not to drink over at the palace or whatever, I guess is what I interpreted it as. And then the other person, the old prophet, I guess, came and told him, oh, come and eat with me. And then he lied and said that the Lord had told him in a dream to tell this guy to come, right? And that is the point right there, when you need to take that up with the Lord and say, hey, I got this instruction, but this guy, even though he's an old prophet, is telling me this. Tell me what is true. And I think that if he took it to the Lord at that moment, that he would have been he would have had courage to stand in his, in the revelation that he received, and not, and he would have been confirmed, right? The Lord would have confirmed it to him, and not automatically just believe what somebody else says. And I think it's tricky, because if you start saying that you don't believe people, or that or you start saying no to all callings, or you say like, oh, well, good for you that you had revelation to call me, but I'm not going to accept this, right? Like, you don't want to take that attitude either. You don't want to be like negative about stuff, but you definitely want to take it up with the Lord and see, is this the path that thou seest for me? Is this what you're talking about when you told me that I need to do these things, right? So anyway, poor guy died because he didn't take that moment right there when you're tempted to go or to do something that someone else has said that is for you, when you already know from the Lord himself what your prompting was. You take that to the Lord right there, because he missed that moment, that mark, that specific time frame to pray. Then he faltered, and he went with the old prophet's counsel, and which was totally sad that the old prophet lied to him. But see, he knew. So after then that the man of God died, the old prophet knew that this man of God really was a man of God, because he had told him what the revelation was. And so he knew that he had been listening to the Lord. And sometimes we might think like, maybe that was my idea and it wasn't the idea of the Lord. Maybe my inspo is not right, or maybe my inspiration clock is not good, or radio is not tuned right to the Spirit, and this man of God or this prophet knows more because you respect him, or you have different, or like you guys are friends, or you know what I mean, like you. So it is something that we need to remember, to trust the Lord more than trusting others. And so it is a little bit sad that he didn't just trust what his promptings were from the Lord more than what this old prophet's supposed prompting was, because he clearly lied to him about it. So anyways, that's my 2 cents on when you receive revelation versus other people receiving revelation for your lives. Like, you need to pray about all the things so that you know for yourself what it is that you need to be doing. Because even in the scriptures, everything is so contradictory. You never even know what it is during the season of your life that you need, right? It's not saying that you couldn't listen to this old prophet another day or another time, but at this time, this man of God was not to listen to the old prophet, because he had already received specific revelation about specifically going to eat and drink over there. So anyways, hopefully I'm making hopefully I'm painting a good picture here. Okay, so the outcome feels severe, right? Being mauled by a lion as he tries to return to the kingdom of Judah. But it underscores how important it is to stay true to what the Lord has already revealed to us. Not every voice that sounds spiritual is from God, and even good people can be misled. For us, it is a reminder to hold firmly to the guidance the Lord has given, especially through scriptures and his prophets, and not be pulled away by conflicting messages when they seem convincing, right? So the come follow me schedule then skips chapters 14 to 16, right? And some significant things happen in those chapters that you'll want to know. And so we're going to pause. That was the end of our First Kings chapter 13. So we're going to do our read it, live it. Oh, okay. And in case you're wondering why I said there's so many contradictions in the scriptures, it's like, because there's sometimes where it'll tell you to don't run faster than you have strength. But then on the other hand, it's going to tell you that you need to hasten the Lord's work, And so like, there's different things, and we're going to get instruction for different times in our lives. And it's up to us to be able to be receptive to the Spirit to tell us which one it is that we need to be doing, right? Or be still and know that I'm God, right? And so then there's like so many different ways that, and so many different things that the revelation we can be receiving. And I love President Nelson's, what he said about the Spirit, and how we are going to need to have the Spirit with us and be able to receive that personal revelation in our lives, because it's going to be crazy out there. And that's going to be the most important thing for us to remember, to stay connected to Christ always, so that we can recognize when things are, so we can recognize the Spirit when it's talking to us, when he's talking to us about how to live our lives, and then know what the counterfeit is. Okay, so in First Kings chapter 13, verse 33 is the read it, live it. Okay, and it says, after this thing, Jeroboam returned not from his evil way. So God sent a warning, a sign, a prophet, but Jeroboam didn't change. Sometimes the danger isn't that we don't hear, it's that we don't do. So make the change. Until First Kings chapter 17, I think. Yes. Stay strong, warrior.